but I am going to bring us into the game here. I just flipped over to that scene as we do see Lycan and Leshrac getting banned out. So again, the pushing heroes are the ban flavor of the day, so to speak. Tidehunter getting banned out as well, and Furion getting banned this time. It looks like Complexity going to have the first pick here, so CLG not content to give that away, even though whereas Complexity did end up banning it when they could have taken it themselves. So kind of interesting how the two teams view the hero a little bit differently in terms of the banning. But either way, the Chen is still available. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't banned, unless they're going to go with something to counter it, and I think the best option would be the Enchantress, but we'll have to see how Complexity feels about that.
LD, are you ready for some crazy Luminous Theory crafting?
Yes, bring it on.
Okay. Complexity is banning Tidehunter. Tidehunter historically very, very good hero against initiating heroes, which we might see a Shadow Shaman being played by TC with a Blink Dagger. I'm hoping for it. I'm waiting for it. Let's see if it's going to happen. Anti-Mage is going to get banned up here, which is not a surprise at all, considering that Pycast Anti-Mage is absolutely a terror. So getting rid of that, and that means that, hey, Complexity is not thinking about picking Anti-Mage himself. They're, of course, leaving Chen in the pool, and the ball is now in Complexity's, or CLG's court. Will they ban the Chen? Will they allow Fluff and stuff to pick it up for himself? We will see.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a Darkseer, too. I'm pretty sure he was banned in the last game. I can't remember positively.
Yes, he was.
Was it in the first round of bans?
No.
I want to say, like, so. I wouldn't mind. Complexity hasn't been favoring that hero as much, and they haven't done as well with him recently when they play him. But I would like to see the Darkseer, especially if you go with Shadow Shaman. If you set up a nice vacuum and he gets off some disables, you have the wards hitting on everyone, and you maybe have one more stunner like an Earthshaker, like a Sand King. But they're going to go with Invoker here, so I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing the Shadow Shaman. They could still pick into him. It's going to mean that the Chen goes to CLG, and they were not hesitate at all on those picks. Immediately slammed down the Windrunner and the Chen. So really happy with what Complexity are giving them, I have to guess, from the speed with which they picked up those heroes.
Yeah, despite how well Aki played last game, seems like Complexity is not respecting the Chen pick. They're like, you know what, we could deal with it. Well, we'll see if they can. We'll see what the Invoker build is. Also, if it's a Quas Wex build, the MP Tornado would be pretty good against Chen creeps. And not, you know, if they're out of mana, then they're just glorified big creeps. That could be decent. Darkseer Invoker. It looks like we're gonna have a team fight.
Oh, I'm so excited! I want to see some epic.
And wasn't for this roster. It was for a counter initiation on team fight. Wow, we're going nothing but team fight. This can be very exciting to watch before you guys at home are just completely letting loose right now. You gotta keep in mind this Complexity lineup are so weak in terms of the early game, and they're so weak in terms of needing so much EXP to actually make it work. Are they gonna get that EXP?
I mean, Darkseer can jungle.
This lineup looks cool, but I'm not sure if they could get to that stage.
Lumi, I really want to see some epic vacuums into Meatball. You know, seeing that Deafening Blast as well as the Chaos Meteor, combined with the vacuum and drop the wall, that can absolutely mutilate the enemy team. Positioning is going to be very important for CLG. Now, of course, that's not to say they will go for an Exhort build, but I feel like Exhort Invoker is the better choice versus a Chen because you have a lot more damage early on to deal with the creeps. Of course, he gives you more of a global presence because of Sunstrike. You're going to be a little bit stronger in terms of supporting your team early on. I think Wex Invoker takes a lot longer to get going. You got to get a bunch of levels in Wex before you're moving quickly, before your EMP really burns a lot. Now, that's not to say, and especially with the nerfs to Wex, I think Exhort would be completely legitimate here and perhaps the better choice. But not sure how Complexity is going to play it. Not sure if they've practiced that, if they're confident with it. I'm guessing they probably have practiced it here and there. I'd be surprised if any teams haven't after seeing some of the success that other teams have had using that, such as Navi. And someone actually mentioned the other day in one of the comments that CLG has run a pretty aggressive Exhort Invoker on Pycat. So I'm hoping to see Exhort, but not sure if we will.
We're going to see a Miracle Crystal Maiden and Miraculous indeed. Probably one of the best Crystal Maiden player in the European scene. So we're going to be looking very, very good support duel of Aki and Miracle. Seems like, judging from the first 3 pick, and it could change very quickly depending on the last 2, that we're going to see somewhat more of a mid-game aggression type of lineup. Go push down a couple more towers, go for a Roshan engagement or something like that, and just go for a win, and hopefully go for a win before Complexity Hero gets high level. I do agree completely with the Exhort build, considering that you do have a very team-fight-oriented lineup. You have the vacuum, so that Meteor will be doing massive amount of damage. Don't be surprised if Complexity decides to pick into an Ancient Apparition as well. It will fit perfectly with the the vacuum and all this AoE-ness that's going on. Puck would not be bad either. I feel like Ancient Apparition deserves a special mention because it shuts down Chen's healing, especially if it's fired before the team fight happens. And also, these really squishy hero, Chen, Crystal Maiden, without the healing, they could be brought down very, very quickly.
Yeah, they're going very heavy on this Wombo combo style build or style lineup here. We've talked about complex. Well, we talked about this before when we were preparing for this match. I don't think we mentioned it on the stream today, but complexity is around Skeleton Kane. I wouldn't mind seeing him on CLG's side just because he does have 2 lives. One of the best ways to deal with a team that's very reliant on big ultimates is to have that carry who has 2 lives. Of course, versus EMP, he might not be able to get his ultimate off. So if Invoker goes for Wex build, that might not be the best choice. But if he is able to get two lives off, Skeleton King gets a decent start. One of the ways to counter those ultimates is to have that extra set of lives on your carry. So
yeah, Skeleton King and Chen actually has very good combinations. He dies once, he comes back alive. If team fight doesn't go well, we send him back. By the time the next team fight happens, hey, reincarnation's back up because it's 60-second cooldown. It's very, very long. Although, with on the flip side of the coin, it doesn't matter if Skeleton comes back alive if your whole team is dead. That's probably not part of the equation. So right now we have CLG banning even more big AoE heroes. Enigma, not so much for the Black Hole, but also for the Eidolon as well. Ricky Maru is going to get banned, or Ricky, simply in Dota 2. I'm very hyped up for this game.
I like the picks a lot more for complexity, and we aren't seeing an anti-mage, which always makes me happy. I don't know how the viewers out there feel, but personally I don't find it very exciting to watch. I don't think many people do. Are we going to see Kunkka in this game? Now, I know this is going a little bit out there, but we've seen him picked up here and there. And he would fit in really nicely with their team fight. Kunkka, a pretty good finisher, pretty good follow-up to the vacuum. It requires amazing coordination, but if you get a Kunkka, that is so much team fight. He's also a decent pushing hero because of that Tidebringer ability. So I wouldn't mind seeing him. I don't know if we will. But they have room for, I think, one more farming hero, and then they're going to need hard support.
I don't know. I feel like they're okay with the farming hero. I'd like to see something like a Vengeful Spirit and an Ancient Aberration. If you look at the ganking lineup of this lineup, it's actually non-existent. There's really no single target sense. Again, we see the Enchantress spam protecting that Chen. Doesn't surprise anyone here. But yeah, you kind of need someone like Vengeful Spirit to set up that first key stun. Gale is a okay initiating stun, I suppose, or a disable to be more exact, but it's not that good, to be honest. So won't surprise me here to see a Vengeful Spirit or any kind of single targeted initiator. Ancient Aberration again, it's the special mention. Shaker wouldn't be bad here either. So we got a couple choices. Shadow Demon is the choice. Not sure what this is about. Shadow Demon give you that great gank. I was saying that the Dire Squad is lacking, but he give you non-existent team fight. Non-existent team fight.
Yeah. Do they need? I mean, they have a lot of team fight already. He's a strong support. Maybe we'll see him ganking early on with the Venomancer. Even at level 1, Shadow Demon is one of the stronger ganking supports because Disruption is such a powerful setup ability. I'm not sure. I like the idea of Earthshaker a little bit better. The Fissure is going to give them some nice anti-push. Of course, it's also going to allow the other AoE abilities to be set up a little bit more easily. They still have room for an Earthshaker in this lineup. But I'm curious, will we see... I don't know what CLG is going to go either. I'm looking, like you said, they're very squishy right now.
CLG should go for BKB carries, because that's what will shut down this lineup.
Yeah, the Purge goes through it, but that's pretty much it. Nothing else. Invoker very vulnerable to BKB. Storm going to be the choice here. Will we see the G build, or will he go for the BKB is the question. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with the G, I call it the G build. Maybe someone else started it, but G has certainly made it famous. You rush a Bloodstone, you pretty much never get a BKB, and you go like 25-1. I'm pulling that number out of thin air. But yeah, Storm is not bad against this lineup. He can definitely zip in, grab the Invoker, or any of these other big team fight heroes. If you kill them before they can do anything, then it's not really going to matter. You can also use the Chen to send him back before he zips in and make sure that he survives. So that's a good got some good synergy with their heroes. They're still pretty squishy.
I'm not so sure. I feel like when Storm jumps in and grabs one, it really makes the entire team think, yeah, it's okay, let's go in, and you get Vacuum and the whole Wombo combo.
Well, that's what the Chen is for, though, man.
I suppose. Also, the other thing is that the Storm zips in and grab one. Very easy for the Shadow Demon to disrupt your teammate and be like, okay, well, what next? And immediately your entire team stands around with Storm a little bit out of position and suddenly not too sure what to do. We're waiting for Fluff and stuff to, again, get another pick. So far, we're not seeing any type of stun. Invoker give you some, not many stuns, especially in the early levels. So we need a stunner.
Well, yeah, and now that you mention it, the Shadow Demon feels like a better pick. It's sort of ensuring that they get the team fight off, if you know what I mean. Oh, and
Okay,
Faceless Void.
more wombo combo.
I think we're gonna see the Exhort build, man. That Chaos Meteor is so good with Chronosphere, and of course, you have the Vacuum to make sure everyone gets into the Chronosphere. So many different ways they can initiate. I like this lineup a lot, but of course, another very farm dependent, EXP dependent hero. And will they find that opportunity, or that space rather, versus CLG? But I have to say, this is a ballsy lineup by Complexity. I like it. I like the fact they're not afraid to go with something, very aggressive and arguably greedy, even after losing that first game.
Not afraid of anything. Slaughter is the last pick here. I just want to go back to the Void real fast. The cool thing about Void in a lineup like this is it doesn't put any more stress on the Vacuum, because in so many wombo combo lineup here, it just depends on the Vacuum to be perfect. And to be honest, in a pro game, it generally isn't, because the enemy team is so good in positioning. But if you have a Void in combination of a Darkseer, you could actually jump in, drop the Chronosphere first, and then you could Vacuum into the Chronosphere, or you could flip it. You could Vacuum first and then Chronosphere. So it makes the initiation a lot easier, and more wombo combo is, we're always looking for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of creative ways to combine these spells. I have to say, I'm rooting for Complexity now. Not because I don't like CLG, but man, this is a creative lineup of heroes, and if they ever pull off that ultimate, it's gonna be if not WoW Dota worthy, then certainly Dota 2 top 10 worthy. If they can get the combo going. So I'm very excited to see how that develops. Let's go ahead and introduce the players here. We're going to have TC playing that Faceless Void. So once again in the hard carry role, Jo, their Invoker player. I believe TC also plays it, but it will be Jo this game. Start off with Quas. Going to be heading down to the bottom lane. Hannah Montana on that Darkseer. Fluff and Stuff on what appears to be a hard support, Shadow Demon. So we're not going to see a solo mid one this time around. And IX Mike going to be on a hard support Venomancer as well.
Yep. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side here, we do have CLG Pycat playing the Stormshit. Kobir, I don't know, is that Pinoy or Smuggling or just Kobir?
Apparently this is Misery. Someone said that he was seen on that alias yesterday on someone else's stream. So I'm not 100% confirmed, but that's what I was told.
Okay, Misery indeed it is, playing on the Windrunner. Aki, of course, on that Chen. Miracle playing the Crystal Maiden, of course. And then we have ldOTA playing a stream carry. Slaughter. I just want to point the camera back to Jo, back on the mid lane. He is going Blaze of Attack. That means we're going to see a Quas build. Boo.
Oh, you mean a Wex build, I believe. As we might see Hannah Montana getting caught here. Oh, he does get Southern Crush. He hasn't skilled yet. Very smart choice. He can Surge. But of course, Crystal Maiden can hold him in place. He pops the Surge a little bit early. I think I would have waited. But now, honey, he just runs in a big circle. Oh, Hannah Montana.
Tango like a boss. He does have Surge coming off cooldown, but he's going to get body blocked by like a whole bunch of people. Wow.
Oh man, that is not the start you want on such a EXP level dependent lineup, or XP dependent level dependent lineup, gold dependent lineup. You don't want to be giving up those early kills, so that's unfortunate to see. I thought he was going to go away for a second there with the Tango out, but I think just running straight back might have been a little bit better. Either way, not a good start.
Not a good start. We're going to have a dueling bot here. IX Mike playing on a support Venomancer. It's going to be supporting Hannah Montana. It's a very interesting to see a Darkseer being supported in a lane, but against a lane like this, very, very good decision. Also, want to point out that Crystal Maiden went for the bite first. Generally, Nova first is de facto build, but against a Darkseer who relies on the Surge as escape spell, having bite is so much more key, and we saw it to be effective in that last engagement. Pycat in the mid lane is going to be fighting against Invoker. Now, Invoker, his offensive power, and it's not that much. I mean, he does have very, very good physical harass, but aside from that, and a cold snap once in a while, he's really not going to get a kill on you unless you're going to be terribly out of position. I feel like Pycat is going to have a safe way to level 6, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see more farming than killing this lane. I would say Invoker has the advantage in the early laning, but at the same time, it's not... What's that?
Definitely, I said. But I don't think he's going to get a kill in the Storm, and that's the important thing here.
Yeah, Storm, we are going to see a bottle rush coming out from Pycat. He only needs 70 gold at this point to pick it up. I love this build on Storm, especially if you know it's going to be a reasonably doable lane. Goldbear getting harassed a little bit. We are seeing poison at level 1 from Fluff and Stuff, even on that support Shadow Demon. Of course, great for scouting if Windrunner tries to hide and get some EXP. Does some decent damage and prevents the usage of those salves. Speaking of salves, she's got 2 healing salves and 6 tangos, so that is a lot of regen for anyone. I'm not sure if she was pulled that regen. I guess the math works out that it could be all her own gold. The camp is not warded top. This is going to be a very farmed Faceless Void from the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm very interested to wonder what the choice is to actually go for the poison first. Disruption is always generally the first choice. But I guess Disruption not too useful against the Windrunner, who could actually just pop the Windrunner and ignore. Meanwhile, engagement happening on the bot lane. We're going to have a net, and then we're going to have another bite, maybe. There's no bite here, and looks like what Miracle wanted to do is actually wait for the Surge first, and then get off the bite to actually get rid of any duration, as we see a little bit of engagement back on the top lane. But the Surge actually took him out of the bite range, which does have a fairly low cast range.
Yeah, I mean, that was... I don't think they could have gotten the kill anyway. He was a little too close to the tower, and Slardar was just farming. There is a lot of harassment, though. This is a very dangerous... Well, dangerous isn't the right word. This is not the best situation for Complexity. They're devoting 2 heroes to the bottom lane, and so far they can't get anything going. Now, it's not like, it's not necessarily their fault. It's very hard to do anything against the Chen, who's constantly ganking a dual, or who's constantly supporting a dual lane, or at least always having the threat of him coming. That's not a good situation to be in, but if you're having 2 heroes who are getting nothing out of the lane, you're only really getting the Void as the clear trade-off. Of course, mid, maybe you win that lane, but it's probably not going to be a completely dominant win. In terms of creep score, we already see 19 and 12 on TC. That's amazing farm. So he's getting... I mean, if you got to start that good, maybe it's worth it.
We'll see. I think the better choice is actually just to ditch the Venomancer. Like, yo, bro, you're on your own. I'm going to go into jungle and get some farm as a Darkseer. But it looks like we're going to have a huge backstab coming in. The entire party is smoked up. How many kills are they going to get? That is the question. Nova on 2 hero, Gale on 2 as well. But Crush and a stun. IX Mike's going to go down. We're going to have another bite here. Yes, Miracle holding onto that stun. Double kill for CLG.
Yeah, it's time to abandon this dual lane. I mean, if for no other reason, then at least you only have 1 hero feed instead of 2. That was just perfect chain stun. 2-man Slither and Crush, 2-man Centaur Stomp, CM holding that Frostbite in reserve for the Surge.
Textbook play. Yeah, I'd say just Venomancer go by and be like, yo, bro, good luck here. Darkseer go into jungle, because he's not going to get ganked into jungle. But no, it looks like they're going to keep trying this, and hopefully it's going to work out better for them. But after those 2 kills with Slardar picking up boots now, 3 charges on the urn, I don't think it's going to get any better.
Yeah, I'd also like to mention this lane ward is key for the Sentinel, or excuse me, the Radiant. It allows them to know exactly where these Complexity heroes are. It makes it easier for Chen to set up ganks. And, the effect of this is I did miss a solo kill in the middle lane by Jo. Did he have a rune? No, he did, just the phase boots, so not sure how Pycat ended up dying there. It looks like he was ferrying the bottle on the Crow. So maybe he's low in regen, just trying to hang an EXP range. Jo was able to catch him. That's a big kill. To be getting that kill, Storm not getting that level 6 delayed, he's actually quite close to it as well.
You could consider that mid lane loss. We were saying, oh man, we're not going to see a kill mid, but Jay was able to deny so many creeps that he was hitting level 6 and a phase boot before Pycat got level 6. And cold snap plus phase boot, oh, that thing is crazy, and Pycat got killed just from that. So
yeah, Pycat is getting severely outlaned. I mean, even without that death, he's only got 11 creeps, 3 denies. JSA at 25 and 10. Big discrepancy there. You're going to see, of course, the phase boots up quicker. Invoker, I'm guessing we'll see the drum. I'm not sure if Jo goes for anything creative on his Quaswex Invoker. I'm guessing probably not. But we'll see. Maybe he'll go for a Force Staff or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just still baffled. I mean, yeah, Invoker will have the advantage, but I didn't expect it to be this much. I guess JO's just a little bit outplaying Pycat from here and there. And Pycat doesn't even have the boots of speed yet because, well, he just got killed. And now JO's trading a couple of hits because he does have the Quas regen. He can trade hits like this.
We do have action on the top lane. Windrunner going to be hit with the Chronosphere. Of course, this does disable the evasion on Windrun. She's going to be immediately brought down. That poison actually working out pretty well, doing a lot of damage. Now, Chronosphere, normally you want to save that for team fights, or at least, that would be the general thinking. But this early on, it's great to use it for a solo kill. Nice play by TC. Complexity actually looking pretty good. They're winning these 2 lanes very hard. TC looks like he's going to be going for quick Flads. Yeah,
it's not a bad choice. It's going to pick up a Crawling Blade, and also, I mean, it's a good pushing item as well. Taking, again, maybe a page out of the Navi playbook. IX Mike secures himself an Invis rune on the bot lane. I'm not too sure what a Chronosphere actually takes away your evasion bonuses. I don't think that is the case.
I believe it does. He was not missing, and she still had the wind run on her. I'm pretty sure it does. I could be wrong about that.
I've never seen it or heard it on the mechanics notes. We'll actually check it after the game and we'll see what exactly the case.
Don't quote us on that, guys. But something to think about. It looked like she was getting hit in Windrun. Either way, whether she was or not, she did die. Only at level 3, still no points in Shackle Shot. Just going for a very defensive build. Looks like Pycat wanted to make a go there. Miracle rotating to the middle lane. Not going to be able to pick up that kill, though.
Yep, and we are seeing the strength of a Wex Invoker. Despite me not being too happy about the standard Invoker build, it is so damn fast. You can see with the face boot, he's able to move so quickly in and out of team fight. The Storm Zip, normally is a safe initiation. Wasn't even good enough to actually catch up to JL's Invoker. And because of those kills and the laning advantage that he's getting, one of the big weaknesses of Invoker is completely thrown out the window. That weakness being that, hey, he needs a lot of XP to work with. But if you're getting kills in farm like this, he is completely fine as a hero. He has a teleport scroll, ready to counter gank in any lane. Maybe the bot lane, he might have to TP soon. Here comes a Gale on ldOTA and the rest of the Chen creeps. Looks like CLG wants to push down this tower, although I think they can actually defend it.
Yeah, this Venomancer is only level 1 at 7 minutes into the game. He is not having a good time at all. I mean, I really think he needs to, be rotated somewhere else. He doesn't even have a point in, not even level 1 wards. Hannah Montana going to get dove here. He's going to go down. IX Mike being driven extremely far off the tower. This is a concern. Maybe you need to rotate the Invoker down there and let some other heroes go mid for a little bit. I mean, I feel like you got to do something. You can't have a level 1 Venomancer this late into the game. Speaking of level 1 Venomancer, he just hit level 2.
Jo TPing in coming from Jo. Ooh, there's a nice disruption. I do believe Chen is going to be going down. Tornado's up just in case. Tornado, yeah, there's a tornado. Will it be enough? A couple more hits going to do it. Yes, and it looks like Shadow Demon picks up 1 kill. Miracle grabs the stun. Here comes ldOTA and as well as Pycat. Seems like Jo is going to go down here. He's diving very aggressively. Is he going to make it out alive? I don't think so. Yes, a couple more hits going to do it. And I think that was an over-aggressive chase, but hindsight's 2020. Of course, he had 3 teammates backing him up, so he was feeling very safe. But great TP here from Pycat, turning the gank entirely around, and I think he might have evened the lane a little bit back in the mid because he got a kill and now got a haste rune, will be farming in the mid lane.
Yeah, that kill is big. Whenever you're losing your lane like that, getting a kill on the enemy solo who's relatively over-leveled really evens things out. I want to mention TC does not have a TP scroll. I feel like on Faceless Void, he's one of the best ganking and teamfight carries out there. Once you hit level 6, especially with this good start, really should be carrying one from now on. A Chronosphere could have completely turned that fight in their favor. At the very least, saved JO, which to me would be absolutely worth it.
Yep. And looks like Windrunner is just getting nothing on this lane. And actually, Demon actually could leave this lane at this point, considering that TC on the top lane is so highly level. He could jump in anytime he sees a Windrunner. Windrunner's got to just farm for neutrals, power shotting it. That's not a good sign for a Windrunner if you're doing that. Nice creep pool, maybe. Oh, didn't even get the creep pool off. Looks like they're going to try to set up a gank with the teleportation coming in. That is a Crystal Maiden and also hasted Pycat coming in. They want TC. They got to chain on him perfectly though. Anything less than that is not going to work.
Yeah, we're going to see a pull to initiate. Oh, immediate TP scroll coming in here from the Invoker. TC drops the Chronosphere. Not the best Chronosphere, but it's decent. We're going to see Miracle going down here. Storm Spirit zipping around like crazy. Probably just trying to run at this point. Invoker did not pick up the kill on Crystal Maiden. Not the biggest kill, but hey, you'll take it. And more importantly, TC did not die there. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Chen looking to set up something on Hannah Montana. The tower did not end up going down during that push, but it is getting pretty low. ldOTA went for a Vanguard. I don't like that choice. I feel like rushing a BKB or a Blink Dagger would be much better. Just because you're having such a good time. One of the reasons you get Vanguard early on is for the regen. Now, of course, it does make you pretty tanky, but I think when you're having such a good start, being able to just jump in and chase down a Darkseer or initiate on an Invoker is absolutely huge.
They're doing so cute. Invisible Venomancer with that Ion Shell is just pulling the screen wave. Like, yo, bro, what the hell's hurting us so much?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And IX Mike finally going to get that EXP he's been looking for so long. ldOTA going to be going on the offensive here. Oh, wow, a nice slither and crushing both heroes. And the tower last hit. That was big. Who cares if he went for Vanguard? Maybe it's not the best choice. If you're getting this much farm, you'll get everything you need in short order. Disruption coming out on the top lane on Goldbear. Goldbear getting bashed up, and it looks like that's going to be it. Goldbear not going to go down. No ultimates were dropped there, though. So not too big of a deal.
They used the Hand of God. They forced the TP that was cancelled. So that's actually a small win, and they didn't actually use anything. They used the disruption. They're fine with using a disruption, chaining for so many spells. And TC is waiting for that Chronosphere cooldown. They probably wouldn't have gotten the kill anyways, but it was close.
Yeah, I meant no dire ultimates, just to be clear. So yeah, they do still have the Chronosphere. They have the Demonic Purge. Arcane Boots are up on Fluff and stuff. Let's take a quick look at the gold graph here. It's going to be a 1,500 lead for the Radiant. That's a decent lead, but again, most of that's the tower, so in the bottom lane. So to me, that's not a big difference at all. I'd say this game's still very even. In terms of item progression, looks like Faceless Void probably almost has that Vlad's at this point. Pretty aggressive wards being put up by the Radiant towards the Roshan pit here. Jo already hitting level 10, 12 minutes in. He's playing exceptionally well. 57 creeps. His farm is definitely slowed down. Meanwhile, Chen with 3 creeps going to be diving. ldOTA backstabbing here. Nice defensive disruption coming out. That's going to completely turn this gank around. Crystal Maiden going to drop. And Chen now on the run. Will he be able to get away is the question. TC did TP in. Tornado going to hit.
Tornado, that's going to change the path of TC. That means that he's not going to jump in. Although he definitely could have. His jump is actually not that highly level, so never mind. And looks like a little bit more counter warding going on. You were talking about earlier having a teleport scroll on TC. Unfortunately, that gave a little bit of free farm. Oh, looks like we're going to have a little bit of engagement. Boy, we should be able to come back here. Another defensive disruption. Here comes the Chrono. Where's the Chrono?
Oh, he doesn't have mana for it. Oh, no.
No mana. You should have been switching his threats. He will be dropping his Chrono right now here, and ldOTA would be going down. Let's see if Vanguard will actually end up saving him. Looks like it might. So Vanguard was the item choice, at least for this engagement. TC now has to turn back. Shadow shot onto IX might be in trouble. They're gonna focus on bluffing stuff instead. Bluffing stuff.
Oh, that power shot.
Great turnaround for CLG. Perfect play. I gotta say, stress swapping, man. TC. That missed chronosphere on the early engagement. I think that cost them the team fight.
By the way, we did get someone else who was backing me up in that little mechanics question. Similar to Hex, being inside of Chronosphere will remove evasion. So, in fact, that's a decent counter to the Windrunner. Windrunner, speaking of Windrunner, she's level 7. I am surprised, honestly, that she's level 7. That was not a fun time. She's heavy up top. Speaking of the supports in general this game, let's take a quick look. Shadow Demon level 7, IX Mike crucially only level 4, Miracle level 5, 2 supports who really want to be hitting level 6. For Venomancer, ideally level 7, so that you can actually have those level 4 wards up. Of course, Chen really wanting to get level 7 for 3 creeps. So pretty big deal that these supports are not getting those levels, and it's very important for these teams that they find the room to give them that farm. It's going to be easier for Chen, of course.
In terms of the items, let's see what we got here. Goldbear, Misery, despite having such a tough lane, just a little bit away from my Force Staff, so she's actually doing okay. Arcane Boots is picked up, so it looks like it might be the G build. Arcane Boots first into a Bloodstone, disassembling your Arcane. We have a Vanguard finish. I'll talk more about the Vanguard and a Slaughter Urn. And meanwhile, on the other side, we have Arcane Boots finish on the Shadow Demon, a pretty good sign. Phase Boot, Drums, and a Sage's Mask. So either might be a Orchid build or a Yule Scepter build. Either build is pretty decent. And then we have Faceless Void just not getting too many items. Maybe finishing Shreds right now. Yeah, he is going to finish Shreds. And another build, Giant Strength.
Yeah, someone's got a Necronomicon coming online. I'm not sure who that is. Does it Invoker?
Yes!
What are you so excited about? Oh, Faceless Void picked that up. I did not realize that was his. Oh, man.
Yeah, I gotta just disrupt this commentary real fast, right? The other day, I made a top 5 video talking about the top 5 ultimate of 6.74. It was a fan voted ultimate, and Chronosphere was voted in as number 3. And I said, in some pub games, you could definitely go for a Necro Broken and Chronosphere because they will move in the Chronosphere. And people are like, ah, man, come on, you're never gonna see that. Right here, guys! Right here!
Yeah, the minions can attack inside of the Chronosphere, similar to Manta style. Oh, nice 2-man Chronosphere coming out. Speaking of that, oh, great Shackle shot. Pycat should be able to zip away. Chen can always send it back. If necessary, Tornado coming in. IX might take a bunch of damage. He's only level 5. ldOTA coming into the front lines. This looks like Pycat still in the fight. He's going to go down. I think he should have just backed off there. Maybe overestimating how much ldOTA could contribute. Going to be seeing a big Slithering Crush. No, we're not. Hannah Montana continuing the chase. ldOTA is just tanking like a boss, but not really killing anything. It looks like in the end that's going to be a buyback from Storm. Storm zips in. He's going to be... Is he going to go down again? No, it looks like he'll be okay. The chase continues. Tornado Hill only hitting a couple of heroes. Vacuum in again. That's huge. The Ion Shell doing so much work. This buyback might turn out not to be worth it at all. Storm doing what he can in the back lines. Jo going to go down. Pycat quite low. Is Cold Snap. Should be dropping. Oh, zips out and pops the wand at the last second. Meanwhile, we did see Windrunner going down on the other side of that chase. Pycat going to be the survivor of this one. Miracle in a lot of trouble. Is he going to live? Oh, the Venomous Scale hits him. He's going to
go down to the poison tick. Wow, nicely team fight. That team fight was all over the place. It's not over yet. These Wildkins are trying to kill the Venomous. Venomous is going to go down to the Chen Micro. Jesus, Aki, you are too good. This at the end of team fight, everyone just died. I think that favors The Radiant or the Dire side, considering that the Void was getting a lot of kills, although they did end up dying. Stormshot actually bought back twice and also might have died again.
Well, I think he couldn't buy back twice, but he did buy back, and he
twice.
I don't think he died twice. He did get out the second time.
Okay.
Nonetheless, he did buy back, which means that Bloodstone, if he goes for it, is going to be very delayed. ldOTA going on the offensive, Jo going to pop that Ghost Walk, and he's quite fast now as the Wex is almost maxed. Already hitting one more point until his Wex is maxed out, and that's going to be very difficult. It's going to be really hard to catch him. You really need a Blink Dagger or a great Zip from the Storm. I guess a Shackle Shot could do it, but that's going to be hard to hit.
So I want to take a moment and talk about the item choices of the Vanguard and Slaughter. I feel like Vanguard was the correct item choice. I mean, he has to put himself in harm's way. Blink Dagger immediately gets him there, but he is going to be very squishy. And in all these team fights, the Dire is doing so much damage that without the Vanguard, I think ldOTA is just going to be dying and dying and dying. So I think the Vanguard, at least in this game, has proven to be an effective item. Meanwhile, on the game totally changes when you get a Necro Book on the Void. There's no precedence on this item. And it's cute. You know, I talked about I enjoy seeing it in a pub game, and it does do, you know, mana burn and all that stuff. If you could drop it on Storm, you drain all of his mana. It's cute and stuff, but how does that affect the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's got nice synergy with the Darkseer as well. If you get some illusions with enemy heroes, they will be hitting a little bit faster, moving a little bit faster. Maybe you go for the drum on Invoker. Oh, sorry, he does already have the drum. So that's a little bit more move speed and attack speed for your... So suddenly everything is moving and attacking very fast. I kind of like it. I think it synergizes well. Now, if they had something like a Chen or an Enchantress on their team, I think it'd be, you know, even next level awesome. Or maybe a Vengeful Spirit, maybe a Beastmaster. It's still quite good, though. I actually think it fits in pretty well this game. It's a very supportive build.
Maybe trying to sub a gank?
Not sure she should be initiating here.
Like, just chilling.
Yeah, just
Storm definitely wanted to jump there with Crystal Maiden backstabbing, but the Void is going to poop on the party. And now TC going to be farming for Necrobook 2 and Necrobook 3 as well. Back to Misery on the top lane. I gotta say, he's playing really well. He got shut down hard in lane, or the lane was designed to shut him down hard, but somehow... remember you were checking, it's like, oh, he's level 7. He's like got a 4 staff. He's got a phase now. So he's actually doing relatively well, not dragging his team behind or anything like that. A big gank go into the jungle. Looks like a big zip here on IX Mike. Will you get the pull? Yes, indeed, we will. IX Mike, it is dead. He is dead.
Yeah, will they go in now, though? It looks like Shadow Demon doing a little bit of scouting. Poison, very nice for that. Are we going to see a big tornado, big vacuum into Tornado? Where's the Chronosphere? Void frantically trying to get into this fight. Pops the Necronomicon. Good ultimate. Not great, though. Storm is able to zip past it. Only catching out one here. ldOTA not going to be chased down. He is way too tanky. I don't think they should be chasing him anyway. I guess they're going to try to. ldOTA trying to turn this one around. Tornado coming onto the illusions. Oh, Shackle Shot not going to latch. ldOTA getting cold snapped, it looks like. Wow, I can't believe they got another kill there. TC in danger now. Is able to jump away. No, getting chain disabled. IX Mike comes back into the fight, drops the poison over. He's going to go down as well. I'm actually very surprised that they're winning this fight by so much, but I guess that Chronosphere only hitting one is hurting them quite a bit. Tornado coming out again. Oh, just missing Pycat. Windrunner with a double kill. You were talking about how well Misery's playing. Man, that was impressive.
Misery shackles are very key. A couple key mistakes here coming from Dire. Again, we're seeing the Vanguard just paying for every cent of the item. It is just working out. But a couple of key mistakes is showing that the nerf on the EMP Tornado Invoker was key. EMP Tornado was dropped, but the EMP did not do anything because they were flying up, and the recent changes said that it won't mana burn anymore. And that made Storm and critically ldOTA actually had enough mana pool at the end of the team fight to crush repeatedly, amp damage repeatedly. And that turned it around, to be honest. So that was a weak EMP Tornado from Jo, and I think that was what caused him to fight.
Yeah, speaking of EMP, let's take a look. How many Arcane Boots do they have up on the set, on the Radiant here? We see one on Chen, one on Storm. That's decent. I would not mind seeing one more, even on Crystal Maiden, but she's going to go for Power Treads. I guess with the Crystal Maiden R, you don't need 3 sets. But if you have 3, then the EMP really becomes a non-issue aside from the damage.
Right. Well, although it's max right now, so it's doing something. Yeah, he's just dropping EMP 20 for the damage, which was cool. It's fine.
Yeah,
although the mana burn is pretty big as well.
Yeah, it's kind of weird he's dropping the EMP so early, and then the Tornado, because it's not actually going to hit on the Storm, even if he did land the Tornado there. But, you know, again, just doing some harassment, not really concerned about trying to get a kill. Jo is getting very farmed, though, and more importantly, he's getting the levels. He's up to 90 CS, which, considering how mobile he's been around the map, is pretty impressive. the Void at 103, and critically ldOTA up to 120. So, you know, we talked about how much ldOTA likes to farm, and there it is. He's got a Black King bar, 22 minutes, and if you thought he was tank before, get ready to be really upset now. The only thing that can deal with him really is that Chronosphere. You got the Demonic Purge, but Sprint somewhat counters that. So you're going to be very reliant on good Chronospheres to take him down. Or, I think the better choice, take down his team first and then go back for him.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind that Void, once his Chronosphere is over, he's not actually going to trade hits with ldOTA because he gets out TPS by ldOTA because he has freaking Necro Books. I guess the Necro Books are a decent choice in terms of burning his mana as well. That's another way to deal with him. But if you look at the growth graph here, Radiant is leading by 5,000 gold, considering that they have not lost any towers. That is not surprising, although they might lose one right now on top. Another thing to point out is right now, Radiant's been taking all the fights to the Dire, and even if they lose a fight, which they haven't so far, they're not going to actually lose too many towers as a result. It seems like Radiant is a team that's hunting for people right now. Stormstray, a very aggressive ganker. Same thing with the Windrunner. I gotta say, Misery though, his Shackle Shot in every team fight, at least 1 2-man Shackle Shot, at the very least.
Yeah, he missed one in this last team fight over near the Dire Hill, but nonetheless, he's been very good. And considering what a bad start he had, it's pretty impressive. I like the Sentry Ward behind the Dire Tier 1 tower in the top lane, just because you know with this Radiant lineup, they want to be aggressive, they want to push towers, and putting a lane ward is a very strong way to set up a kill or two, which leads to a tower. That being said, they have that ward there, but it looks like they're going to be content to give up the tower. Not sure what are they getting in return. They're trying to push the bottom lane. One other thing to mention about the Necronomicon that's just occurred to me, it's probably occurred to a bunch of the viewers out there. The mana burn, I guess it's got nice synergy with the EMP. It gives you just a little bit more mana burn. And that is one way to shut down the Slardar. If he doesn't pop BKB and he doesn't have mana, not going to be able to do too much.
Just let me know if I'm starting to sound a little bit robotic as we see engagement happening on the mid lane here. ldOTA just running in, not giving a damn because he doesn't. He's got Vanguard BKB going crazy, trying to send off on the Ice Might BKB's pop, and looks like a nice defensive disruption here, but I do believe one of support's going down. Wow, huge Chronosphere and trying to do some DPS, trying to focus on one Skirmishes and goes down. Misery is going to run out of there. Was Mana Burn being micro? ldOTA now, his BKB is down. He is going to be in a little bit of trouble, and we're seeing punish ldOTA's over-aggressiveness, and that's exactly what happened in that team fight here. Jo now is going to force Stormstray to jump away. Indeed, he will jump away, and with that, I think they should go straight into the Roche Pit and get themselves.
Man, that Chronosphere was just ridiculously good. Also, the Demonic Purge does remove sprint, so actually, you know, what was I talking about there? Slardar going to be very slow, was not able to do anything. They really just kited him all the fight, killed off all the supports, thanks to that amazing Chronosphere by Jo, or excuse me, by TC. The Tornado did only hit a BKB hero pretty much, but the vacuum onto the high ground was very nice. Into the wall, they're going to get a tower. Looks like they're not going to go for Roshan. I actually think they could have gotten that Roshan, but, you know, they are dire, so they will still have the advantage for it. And the towers are looking, you know, based on the towers that have gone down, Complexity's still going to have the edge when they go for Roshan. TC on 1,300 gold. I think we're going to see the Vlad's next. Going to make him very supportive Void. Now the armor will be great against Slardar, and that's probably why he's going for the Vlad's. Of course, the aura is nice, but you're mainly getting it for the, or the lifesteal is nice, but you're mainly getting it for the armor aura, I think.
Ooh, we had a huge ancient creep stack here, and it looks like they're gonna go back here. Unfortunately, there's no cleave or anything on the voice, so it's actually gonna take a while here.
He might. Oh, he's gonna have the Necronomicon minions tank it up. Of course, the poison not going to work on most of these. It would only work on the ancient black dragons, or not the ancients, the small ones, the black drakes. But you know, there's only a couple of those. This is going to take quite a while. As I say that, he's actually killing the small creeps off pretty quickly there. Hannah Montana jungling up. I think it's going to be tough for CLG to find an opening here. There's just so many good escapes on the Dire squad at this point. You know, Invoker constantly running at max move speed, has that Force Staff. Shadow Demon with Disruption, Void with the ability to time walk away, Darkseer with the Surge, a lot of escape mechanisms, and the longer this farming goes on, the better it's looking for Complexity.
I completely agree. Also, ldOTA cannot be as aggressive as he was in that team fight. He chased a mile away, and his teammates is not as fast, forced to chase alongside with them because, you know, your captain's running in, you slaughter. You can't just, you know, be like, yo, bro, no, you're on your own. So the team ran in, and that's what happened with a big Chronosphere. That caught 4, 3, 5?
I think it caught 3, but crucially, ldOTA had just used the Slytherin Crush, so he couldn't stun the Void in the Chrono, which allowed him to pick up 1 kill, bring the Windrunner down extremely low, and then, of course, Crystal Maiden just has to run for her life. So.
And looks like TC's now going to go back to Yasha, which It's not bad. I mean, it does increase your attack speed and movement speed, so you chase better as a melee hero as well. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, to be completely honest here. And right now we are seeing a stage of the game where heroes such as Crystal Maiden, Chen, they're starting to dip in terms of the effectiveness. And it seems like that complexity right now very, very slow in the game, and I think they could take it slow. They're down by 5 kills and a couple of towers, but I do believe to have the better late game, Necrobook Void or not.
Yeah, and actually the Necrobook Void is not bad late game, especially once he gets this Manta style up. The illusions will benefit from all the auras they have going on this team. Between the Drum and the Necronomicon, aura is going to be pretty effective. We do see CLG maybe afraid of a Roshan attempt. They're going to be looking to scout that out. Miracle going to be in a very dangerous position here, but for some reason nobody's punishing this. His backup is finally arriving. Looks like we're going to have a sort of dithering around Roshan. Meanwhile, Jay are going to happily push out the top lane and get some more farm. He's up to another 2,400 gold. Already has the Force Staff and the Drum and the Phase Boots, so he's got max mobility. Will he go for more mobility with something like a Blink Dagger, or will he go for a Hex? I think a Hex would be a better choice here, but we'll have to see.
We'll have to see indeed. Vanguard is up and a cloak on Darkseer. IX Mike's got just boot and a bracer. Probably going to be going for a later drums as well. Mecha is finished. You go on the other side. Yeah, not Bloodstone is finished on the Stormstreet. That's worth noting. But it seems like we are going to get a very, very slow and farming game. And being the fact that you have Void and you are on the Dire side, that in broad theory terms, give the Dire a little bit of advantage. Of course, Dire is that EXP dependent squad. They haven't lost a Rax or something. Like
bottom lane. TC might be getting caught out of here. Slardar ultimate is applied. He's trying to juke into the trees. He time walks back into the enemy team. He's actually going on the offensive here. Is he going to kill off Miracle in this Chronosphere? No, he's not. Hand of God comes out. Looks like they were trying to bait that a little bit more. EMP Tornado being applied. Huge vacuum from Darkseer. Oh my god, that is so much damage. Everyone dropping now. Miracle going to be going down. Looks like Ake going to go down momentarily. No, maybe not. Meanwhile, the fight's going the other way. ldOTA is getting kited all day. He cannot catch anyone. Oh my god, he's getting kited so hard. Ake really low. He's getting harassed by this illusion being from the Darkseer. He's going to go down. And it looks like in the end, Pycat chose to farm top.
Well, he had a Torch Scroll, but no tower really nearby to port to. I guess you could port to tier 2, but he would have had to waste so much mana to jump in. But it was a very interesting, I guess, when you chase a Void, you don't think it would develop into a team fight, so I can't fault CLG for that, but it was a really smart choice here for a Void player to actually jump in and just start it off. Very good micro by Aki to run his Centaur around the Chronosphere and get a stun off. I mean, most champ player would not even think of doing that, but hey, Aki, he's one of the best champ players in Europe, so he was even stunning with the Centaur.
Yeah, and even if they think of doing it, executing it is just a next level more difficult, especially in a team fight like that. And at this point, Chen is he's got the mechanism. He's not the squishiest hero, but he's pretty close. You got to be very careful about your positioning. But even though he played it perfectly, it's 30 minutes into the game, and a perfectly played Chen, dipping in terms of how much he can impact these fights. TC was so aggressive there. I feel like any other Void would have just ran away. He just went balls deep, maybe figuring he couldn't get away. Might as well see if he can get some kills, and the team was there to assist him. The Slardar is just not getting anything done, though. The BKB, we thought Shadow Demon might not be the best choice, at least in terms of team fight, but man, that Demonic Purge is doing work against Slardar.
I'm eating my words a little bit here, saying the Shadow Demon's not going to contribute anything, and his contribution is very high. Although, that might be the fact that CLG is picking into a Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is doing so much work in these fights. The disruption is mostly used on the teammates, and only on the teammates, using it defensively to, like, Slaughter comes in, trying to get a crush off, you disrupt, and suddenly Slaughter maybe a little bit out of position. Meanwhile, in making engagement, Hannah Montana very low, going to get bursted down, BKB going to be used, going for IX Mike, EMP is not going to drain the mana on the Slaughter, so 1 kill against the Darkseer, which is pretty big. I feel like Raiden should maybe try to take a team fight. 5v4, Miracle a little bit out of position, and looks like we're gonna Chronosphere again. It's coming out pulled down. Miracle's gonna go down. Shackle.
Oh, 2-hero Shackle.
ldOTA's gonna get sent home. Indeed, well played. Another great play here from Aki. But I do believe with that, the mid tower should go down. I suppose Slaughter could TP back, and immediately he will do so. Looks like Stormster might be a little bit caught out. He's gonna jump immediately, and he should be fine afterwards.
Yeah, he did get Yules that removed the haste rune. We are going to see IX Mike getting shackled to Jo here. Pycat in a lot of trouble. Will he be able to get away? TC going to be continuing to right-click him. Looks like he's going to get sent back. Oh, he's so low, he is going to get out. Tornado being applied to ldOTA. ldOTA running. He's getting purged again. ldOTA not having fun this game. Really hating the Shadow Demon right now. Slither and Crush not going to be enough. ldOTA going down again. Oh my god. This demonic purge is making ldOTA just beyond miserable.
Demonic Purge, my goodness, it's just doing so much work in this game. I do believe the mid tower will be going down with ldOTA dying and Winmer have to heal. With this tier 1 tower going down, I do believe they could go into the Roche pit as well.
Yeah, I think they can go for Roshan now. They're going to pick up that tier 1. Looks like they have the same thought process as you. We're not going to see the Forge Spirits just yet. Jo needs a couple more levels. We could see 1, but we won't see 2. Either way, Cold Snap, Faceless Void. What do you really need to bring him down? Speaking of Faceless Void, I'm sure he's got more items. He does have Manta, and from here I expect just to see straight DPS items. Maybe a BKB, but I don't think he needs it. His team's been there to support him. And of course, you know, he's a pretty hard hero to kill to begin with.
And with the Aegis, it's going to go on Faceless Void, so he could be even more aggressive. I might even say you want to dump it on Jo, but no, Faceless Void is a safer choice. And looks like now Dire says, okay, we want to fight, we got more items, let's go back and farm. We do see Invoker buying a point booster, so going for the Acceptor here, which is a fairly decent choice. Although I may say at this stage of the game, you might actually want to save for your Hex as well. But I think either item choice on a Invoker is, you know, both decent.
Yeah, Jo did opt for even more mobility and a little bit more utility in that Eul Scepter. This is, I think, probably the most stamina or standard Invoker build. You know, sometimes you even skip the Force Staff and go straight for the Euls. We can see here he's running a 466 move speed, and that's with the Phase Boots not even being active. That's pretty much max, and then when you pop the drum, it's definitely max.
Uh-oh, big gang coming in.
Are they smoked? They are smoked. We're just getting a visual bug here, guys.
Ix Mike, no,
Ix Mike. TC, are they going to get anyone? No, they're just going to reveal the gank and then back off.
Yeah, they ran a little bit too close to the hero, and that smoke got debuffed. The ward on the high ground was able to scout them out. Complexity, no reason for them to take a fight, and they're just farming it away. The ball is now in CLG's court. They gotta get something going. In terms of initiating power on the Radiant side, they got a Shackle Shot, they got a Storm Initiation, follow up by the Slaughter. But increasingly, this Shadow Demon is making it more and more difficult. Slaughter runs in, whoever is focusing gets disrupted. Slaughter suddenly in a little bit out of position. He is going to get purged immediately afterwards. Of course, if Shadow Demon is not there, we have the Surge from the Darkseer to be there. Speaking of Darkseer, he's got the Pipe Finish alongside to a Vanguard. Here comes another Smoke Gank on the other side. When Complexity wants to get something going, they start smoke ganking.
Yeah, this is a fairly obvious bait. Oh, hey, it's Faceless Void farming by himself mid, and you know, right near a position where all the enemy heroes could be. So it looks like CLG not going to fall for that, or is ldOTA going to be over-aggressive again? He's thinking about going in. This would be a huge blunder. Jo is up top, so maybe they're going to feel more confident now. I don't know.
He's got a DD. Oh, TC might be in trouble. Yeah, he's going to drop down, so might not be an over-aggressive. He's going to come back, and he will have Chronosphere ready. Is he going to jump? Looks like he's looking. Yeah, that was some kind of bait.
Yeah,
it didn't work out.
Meanwhile, up on top, we pretty much saw Jo and Pika trying to get in line for their favorite new video game at the store and pushing each other out of the way. They're both trying to get mid. Oh, the Chronosphere missing from TC. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's actually not the biggest deal, though, because Chronosphere has a really low cooldown compared to other teamfight ultimates. It's only 100 seconds. I believe Tidehunter is 150.
Yes.
For the Ravage. I know Enigma Black Hole, no, not 300. What? How many seconds? It's like 180?
It's pretty long.
It's long. Anyway, Chronosphere is relatively low in terms of the cooldown for an ultimate. That being said, you don't want to waste it, so nice zip away there from Pycat. Speaking of Pycat, not much of an item progression here. Crucially, he has not gotten any Bloodstone charges. I don't know if Bloodstone is a great choice the way this game was going, but I guess once you start it, you want to finish it. And the reason I say that is, you know, Bloodstone really relies on you snowballing and getting off some good ganks, but against such a team fight-oriented lineup who's doing well early, it's very hard to find those openings.
CLG is choosing to push right now, which is a perfect choice considering that, hey, that ultimate is down. Looks like we have a Crush missing everything. Here comes TC. He doesn't have the Chronosphere. Storm zipping around. BKB is done here. It looks like we have a great vacuum in. Wow, what a good initiation. Aki in huge trouble. He is going to go down. Crystal Maiden not getting caught, at least not yet, because she is, dropping a huge ultimate, but gets Cyclone. And now gonna focus. Well, Crystal Maiden is just completely surrounded, so that 2 support is dead, despite not even having a Chrono. I think in that sign alone, it's not good for CLG.
Yeah, who needs a Chronosphere when you have a Darkseer and an Invoker? That is just as much team fight. In fact, it's a lot more, and we just saw ldOTA again trying to be aggressive. He's gone for a Blink Dagger, which, honestly, this late in the game is normally not a good sign if you feel like you need more initiation at this point. Especially when you already have a Storm and a Shackle Shot, you're normally losing, and in fact, that is the case. He tried to charge in there, it was not successful. Now they're going to pay for it with a Tier 2 tower. Sentinel gonna, the Dire gonna have their ultimate up, or the Chronosphere up on TC. Could definitely go for high ground. Everything for Invoker will be back online. The only thing they won't have is the Wall of Illusions, but I really don't think it's necessary at this point. Instead, they're gonna play it safe.
Have the Venomancer ultimate as well, which can make a difference. But it seems like they are saying that with Chronosphere, we will take the fight. Necro 3 is coming back online very, very soon. JO's been doing a very good job putting on that. What is that spell called? The Alacrity on the boy, so he's attacking really, really quickly, as we're seeing right now. That tower going down, Shackle Shot not latching. With this Tier 2 going down, I think we are very ahead. If you're a Complexity fan, they're very ahead in terms of towers.
Yeah, they're very ahead. Not only that, I just at this point there's just not a whole lot that CLG can do. They don't have the late game. They also can't really gank effectively because it's so hard to kill these Complexity heroes. I mean, maybe they can pick up the Venomancer, but honestly, I still think Complexity can take a team fight without him. Storm gonna grab a Haster and a TP back to base. The only real sign of hope for CLG, I want to say, is the fact that Windrunner is gonna have a Hex now. But a Hex is not necessarily going to be that effective, especially if you get caught in all these ultimates, all these disables. You're not going to be able to use it. It'll be nice so far. Void does not have a BKB. In fact, he's going for Assault Cuirass. This is like an all-in aura build for Void, and I have to say I like it.
I don't like it as much. I think in that last engagement where he had the Aegis, trying to bait with the Aegis, we saw how he quickly went down. Of course, there was a double damage on Slaughter, but probably he only hit like physically once or twice. So what I'm trying to say is that TC has very, very low HP pool. He has a lot of cool stuff like Necro 3, he has a Manta and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you want to at least survive the initial barrage, and JO, if he gets initiated on right here, he's going to be in huge trouble. He's not invoking into Ghost Walk, and he is going to... South Cyclone to disrupt anything. Invis, yes, Invis indeed.
We have Dust on Chen, he pops it, but the Slither and Crush misses. JO might get away. No, one more zip is going to do it. JO does not have buyback. Uh-oh. This is going to be huge. CLG going to at least get a Tier 2. Or they're going to try anyway. Void's looking to defend this. He's still about 1,500 away from Assault Cuirass. One of the other downsides to it, doesn't do anything until you complete it, and it's a little bit more expensive than BKB.
He spent a whole bunch of gold, and he's not going to have buyback in the next team fight. I don't think they want to take this fight for the Tier 2, although Fluff and stuff thinking about backstabbing, so they might actually take it 4v5 without one of their most farmed heroes.
Nah, you don't. I would not take this fight, but Complexity with Balls of Steel maybe going to try to. Most likely just stalling for time here, and Fluff and stuff sort of sitting defensively to scout things out. He's got a Ghost Scepter now. This is a great item versus Slardar because everything Slardar does is physical. Even the Slither and Crush is in fact physical damage, so that's a great way to help deal with him. I would like to see the other supports get that as well.
I'm a bigger fan of 4-step, but
Yeah, 4-step's certainly not a bad choice.
He's got a 4-step and a Ghost Scepter, so that, Hannah Montana,
God,
get initiated, Shackle Shot, and gets picked off. But right now, here comes Chronosphere just on one, and indeed, Aki can send him home. Indeed, he's going to send him home, and looks like Chronosphere is going to get completely wasted. No, he's not going to send him, and Gobe is going to be absolutely fine. He does have 4-stab as well. Shackle Shot here gets 4-stab out, and Tornado comes in. No EP just yet here. CLG's winning this fight. Wall gets dropped down here, and looks like Shadow Demon was there for a long time. IX might have HP. Where is the Slaughter? Slaughter gets focused by 3 or 4. Slaughter gets picked up as well. This team fight is just all over the place right now. Neither team very well coordinated. We do see Purple, the Crystal Maiden, TPing out just fine. And seems like Gobear is going to run south, and he's going to make it out there.
Can Invoker catch him?
Chasing. Tornado coming off cooldown. No, he's going to give up the chase. I gotta say, man, these team fights are not pretty on either side.
Yeah, well, one of the issues, at least from what I saw, is that Slardar BKB just does not last very long. In fact, it might have even been on cooldown from an earlier engagement because it's almost up again. But now he's down, I believe he's down to that 5-second charge. And this is, if you get an early BKB and you're using it very aggressively, then you might not have the extra duration when you need it. With that 5-second BKB, if you get caught in Chronosphere, that's it. Your BKB is done, assuming you pop it. And if not, you might be dead before you can pop it. That being said, that fight went about as well as CLG could hope, considering... I mean, you know, Chronosphere only hitting one hero. Windrunner was able to escape, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she was. It could have been a lot worse for them. But that being said, you had a great opportunity with Invoker dead, and that's all you got. Not sure how they're going to be able to win this one. Void's about to get that Assault Cross. He's got the money for it now. Let's see, is there any other interesting item pickups? We did see an Aghanims on Invoker. He was dropping a lot of spells in that fight, and his arrival definitely saved the day. So fortunate respawn timing for JO.
The Go chart, as you expect, definitely telling the tale of the game. Radiant been leading for quite a bit and just dip really, really big time. Radiant maybe winning the last team fight, and of course getting a tower, getting top 2 tier 2 tower, one on mid, one on top, and evening out a little bit back. They go very close to 0 at this point. And I gotta say, TC's gotta drop those Chronosphere. These Chronosphere just are not on mark. He might have cool items and doing a lot of damage, but his bread and butter is gonna be that Chrono. So hopefully, I mean, all he needs just one Chrono, and they win the game, barring from 5 buybacks or something like that. So right now we do have Chen building that Vlad's always a good thing to see for Slaughter to get some.
The Vlads will be nice. I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal because, to be honest, Slaughter is not right-clicking very much in these fights, but the armor will be nice.
Yeah, the plus damage it's all relevant. Nothing too big on
5 heroes smoked up for complexity. They're going to be heading into Roshan, or are they looking for a team fight is the question. I think they're going to go for a team fight here. They're sort of dancing around the pit, thinking about it. They're going to end up going into Roshan. They're going to do it very quickly. TC with the minus armor, as well as the minions from the Necronomicon and the Alacrity. This is dropping so fast.
I don't like the choice of actually popping Necrobook for it. Necrobook does have a fairly long cooldown, actually 75-second cooldown. I mean, you don't know if a team fight's going to break out, and Necrobook actually do massive damage, and they definitely did not need the extra DPS from Necrobook, so...
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe better safe than sorry. They could wait for it to come back up. There's about 1 minute to go. It'll be mostly up by the time they get to this bottom tower. Well, not if Hannah Montana kills the wave this quickly. So yeah, it wasn't necessary, but it's not. It's by no means going to cost them the game, or at least I don't think it will. The push will. If it does, then I'll be eating my words and shaving my head.
If anyone's running away from 100 HP, I'll say, where's your Necrobook now? But Complexity's going to destroy a tower for free. Seems like they're on the high ground.
Yeah, the Alacrity on this Void. Alacrity is just so good for buffing late game carries like Void. Anyone with a built-in chance to proc is going to be extremely effective. It's whether you have a bash or a critical strike. Really nice to see that being used on the Void. You see a lot of pub invokers will put Alacrity on themselves. But it's really better to put it on your carry if you have one, which in this case they definitely do. 2 hero Shackle Shot, will they initiate? Storm zipping in, defensive disruption, Lodic throwing himself up in the air, just nobody can be focused here. EMP going out, TC just has the Aegis, so he's going to be possible to kill. Looks like a gem gets dropped on Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, Loda going to be slithering back to base. He is out of mana at this point, another 2 hero Shackle Shot. Misery could hit these all day, and I don't think it'll matter. He's actually got a Demon Edge as well.
What do you know? Avoid with a Necrobook. Doing it. Don't even need to drop the Chronosphere at this fight. Just brute force. Here comes Stormster zipping in, trying to bait out a Chrono, I am sure, but not really having too much to say. There's a Chrono on coBear, and looks like, yes, indeed, he is getting those hits in. coBear is going to go down. Hanum got trying to do whatever he can. Keep him alive. Just not enough. Pycat going to go. Blink Sun. Getting everyone, but unfortunately, can we get him zipped out? Yes, Pycat's going to make it there alive. Aki, unfortunately, not as lucky. No, he's going to be alive as well. Somehow, everyone's still alive. The Raxto, unfortunately, is dead.
Yeah.
That should be it for this bot lane.
Complexity just completely ignoring CLG's heroes at this point. Content to just go for the Rax, and Pycat might be in for some trouble here. Actually, maybe it's TC who is. The Aegis is still up, though, so he can come right back to life. Hannah Montana popping the pipe again. Going to be extremely hard to kill. Scratch that. He's dead. TC running. Loda blinking in. Not going to be blinking the correct way. Shackle Shot on TC. TC popping the Manta style. Probably should have waited until he respawned to do that, but oh, time walk out. No TP scroll. At least he's stalling, though, and that's really all they need. He's going to get caught now.
I don't know. He might die here a second time. The question is, yeah, he does have 5 back, but Sunstrike is going to hit on goldbear. Can TC make it out of that? I don't think so. Crystal Maiden dropping O and sure they get the kill. Yeah, that chase was very profitable for CLG. I think they got like 3 hero kills.
Well, they got at least 4. I believe it was only Jo who survived. They also killed the Aegis
Yeah.
Or they burn the Aegis, so that's really 5 kills if you want to think about it that way. That's pretty big. I also want to mention that, PyCat, we talked about this in the pregame, even when his team is losing, he always finds a way to contribute. He's 8-2-8 on the Storm. He had a horrible start, at least by PyCat standards. He's still doing quite well. They're going to be pushing in mid. Void is the buyback. They're obviously trying to at least burn that buyback. They're going to force Void to use it here. He can't let this Rax go down for free. And then maybe they'll back off. Not sure if they should continue to fight, as the Chronosphere is back up. So once he buys back, I expect to see them back off. Smoke gets dropped. They're going to go in, maybe. No, ldOTA going to be losing his mana. No, actually able to dodge that EMP. This is a tense moment here as we see Complexity trying to frantically defend the high ground.
Void still no buyback despite the fight happening right now. Void's being very greedy. Is buyback on cooldown? I don't think so. Still no buyback. He's just waiting out, thinking his teammates could 4v5. Looking pretty good so far. Storm very low mana and HP. Will be zipping out. ldOTA in huge trouble. So the choice of not buying back was perfect, as Fluff and stuff will find a Storm, forcing the zip out again. No mana left on the Void. Tornado is going to find him, trying to vacuum him onto low ground. No. Centaur trying to rescue the Storm. No stun coming in. A Cyclone in the air. We're going to have cold Snap next. Cold Snap. Another zip. Storm with that 12 charges on the Bloodstone is regenning quite a bit, but they're relentless on the chase. And I do believe Storm, believe it or not, will be going down. He pops a wand, but he is disrupted.
Oh, he's so dead. Oh man. Fluff and stuff clean up that kill. But yeah, you have 5 poison stacks on you, and then you eat the Soul Catcher as well. You are going down. And in fact, we did see that there. That was a tough fight for CLG. I mean, to lose when the Void wasn't even there is not a good sign. Speaking of Void, he's got a Crystallis now. He doesn't have buyback though, so if they somehow lose a big fight, it could be disastrous. But speaking of buyback, Storm has it, Windrunner does not. And the way Misery's been hitting these 2-hero shackle shots, I think he's hit at least 10 to 12 this game. That's going to be a big loss. Slardar will be up fairly soon and has buyback. Probably does not want to burn it. The Glyph is down though, I think he has to. No, just going to let this Rax die, I guess. It's not looking good for CLG.
You still got the mid-Rax. That is his logic, man. Down 2 Rax, time to start playing serious. But this mid-Rax is not long for life either, as actually Complexity is going to back off. They are a little bit afraid. And this is kind of what we talked about in the pregame analysis. Complexity don't want to take any risk. Hey, we might be up 2 Rax, we might have stronger heroes, but we're not going to fight a 5v5. We'll fight a 4v5, but not a 5v5.
Yeah, I can't say I blame them. It's not like they're playing some scrub team. CLG definitely one of the better pro teams out there in Dota 2 right now. And they're going to slow roll it here. I don't think they need to wait for the next Roshan, but maybe just look for a smoke gank opportunity and then go for the win. Speaking of smoke, do they have any on cooldown or on their heroes right now?
That's a good question. Probably not. Shadow Demon trying to finish that BKB. Look at how farmed that Shadow Demon is. And TC probably working on a buyback. I hope he doesn't, bust it out on a day list or something like that, because he definitely does not need it.
Yeah, he does not need more damage. He just needs that extra life. Without the BKB, he's slightly vulnerable. We saw he dropped really fast.
Like crits instead of like lifesteal, especially when your teammates.
Well, you have the flags.
Okay, fair enough. That's a fair point. Yeah.
And Darkseer has been extremely obnoxious to kill this game, I have to say. Between the pipe, the high armor, the Vanguard, and of course, having Surge, I think it's a fine choice. Let's see, I guess they're going to smoke up again. I think that last smoke was just purchased. Or maybe they're team farming the Ancients. Interesting. They're playing very scared. They don't have any wards on the map right now. Do they have any available? I'm not sure if this stock is accurate, but it says there's 2 in stock.
I feel like Complexity, for more often than not, they're a lot more defensive than they need to be. But will it affect the result of this game? Probably not. But, against maybe Na'Vi, it will. Not sure.
Or maybe if the enemy team had a little bit stronger of a late game presence. I mean, in this case, they have such a better late game, and they're so far ahead, that I think it'll be okay. But if the heroes were a little bit different, I still feel like they would play it similarly based on what I've seen of them, and then it could be an issue.
That's just how they play. That's their play style.
Speaking of, well, we've been talking a lot about item choices, and Voker has 4,000 gold. So if, I mean, J.O. going to be saving for buyback here. He could buy back and buy Boots of Travel, I think. Maybe not quite, but if he gets a couple kills, he might be able to.
He could sell his, treads, or phase, sorry. to make sure.
Yeah, that could be.
Strike to scout on the high ground. Looks like jump in. Oh, that chrono is huge. Crystal Maiden's gonna die. Act is gonna die as well. A low to high ground. Venomancer ult hits nothing here. Fluff and stuff gets to the high ground. Pops BKB. Now gonna be going too crazy. Loda gonna stun a couple of guys here, but is he gonna get purged? That is the question here. Kobe very low. You know he's gonna force half himself out. I don't think they even need a chase. Just forget them and go for the mid racks. Indeed, half the team is doing so. Now he looks like.
Gotta get them kills. Goldbear being chased down now. He's gonna drop.
Yep.
Well, Complexity did pull it out. I mean, you know, they took their time, their sweet time doing it. This is going to raise their average win time, and it's already up to 43 minutes. Which, you know, for perspective, I think Navi is at like 35 for their average win time. Pretty significant. It's a large sample size. But hey, a win's a win. They're going to go to Game 3. We're going to get our first Game 3 of the tournament.
First Game 3, wow.
It's actually, you know, it's pretty surprising, but hey, at least we got one this first week. Hopefully week 2 there'll be more. GG's coming out from ldOTA, and of course, Complexity being well-mannered, delivering the GG's back. Just going to wait for the final scoreboard here. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break as I've been drinking a lot of coffee, and then, you know, we can get started with game number 3. But any closing thoughts on this game, Luminous, before we see the throne go down?
Necro 3 Void.
Boss!
It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. Indeed it was. I can't believe they did it in our pro game. I was like, ah, pop game's going for it.
Yeah, it's not
often. Learn something every day.
Especially when you lose game 1, and in pretty convincing fashion, too. It shows a lot of confidence and poise from Complexity to come back with such an unorthodox build. And I mean, unorthodox pick, too. Void is not really that popular right now. In the end, this is going to be your final scoreboard, so 52-minute victory for Complexity. We'll be coming back with game number 3 in just a few moments, guys. Thanks for watching.